Hey guys, what's up? Sora here once again for a follow-up video on my previous Nia video. My voice is still relatively screwed thanks to all the nasty phlegm and shit in my throat, so I apologize if I sound a little bit weird or, I don't know, too soft probably. After several days of being able to test her out and a set amount of grids when I tried her, all I can say that she's freaking ass amazing, and obviously you know how cute she is, and of course it's more, it's more like how freaking strong she is, right? So when it comes to just pure nuking and such. Unfortunately, in the video I originally wanted to demo for you guys can't really be shown because I had like awesome dank music playing in the background, so I can't really share that. So instead, I'll be showing you clips on how awesome Nia is, which I'm sure you'll already be seeing some of them on the screen right now. A lot of times, I've noticed people would think that Nia dies way too fast or actually do anything, but honestly, that's just bullshit in my opinion. Let's be honest, majority of the time you'll be spending in trying to get into pub raids, do some bursting, and then back to the homepage, and then you repeat the process again. That in particular is what Nia is so damn good at. Not to mention, I'm fairly certain that the raid will be dead before Nia even dies anyway, unless the raid you're in is just not too popular or just not mainstream enough, stuff like that. If the raid is just too long, yeah, then probably you can kind of notice Nia dying a little bit faster than usual. But honestly, even so, Nia wouldn't exactly die that quickly anyway. Especially when you make use of a special skill when you kill off someone. Thank God for the Death's New Call. Holy damn. To bring her out, where she has provides a special skill called Thirsting Buff to the entire party, which is technically an auto revive that and absorbs damage. This will more or less allow Nia to be alive for as long, maybe around 15 turns or so, if you're not mashing both her skill 2 and skill 3 off cooldown. Her S2 buff, which allows her to provide beloved buff to herself and another party member, that's guaranteed triple attacks and 50% damage reduction, sounds really good. But honestly, if you ask me, I just felt like this skill isn't exactly needed at all unless for some reason one of your party member is just single attacking all freaking day or something, then maybe you can consider using it. And Nia's skill tree is what really makes her super insane, being able to provide any ally, including yourself, an extra Ogi activation, meaning being able to cast double Ogi in a single turn. A lot of times people tend to combo this with Kirin, just so you can recast this again onto another character to deal even more damage in a single turn. Take for example like the one they showcase in the summer stream where you can do how many Ogis you can do in a single turn kind of shit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all thanks to Nia in general. But honestly, despite this being a very good strat, I just find it really slow, since you just really need to press a little bit more buttons than usual. I just felt like the point of having Nia in your party is just to allow you to really burst down super fast and just get it over with. I tried to use her in a raid where it goes really slow, like soloing Metatron and stuff like that. She isn't super good in that spot. Even if you have an extra revive skill casted on her, I just feel like they're having the revive MC slot, and it's just kind of like waste that extra slot, or putting Fairy in there. Then because you can use the skill on Fairy, which provides an extra auto revive on Nia. It's just okay, but honestly for me, I just felt like Nia is just really heavily focused on being the burst heavy character where you just deal crazy amount of damage in just like a couple or 2 or 3 turns. I can assure you that she really helps out in your OTK setups greatly, especially when you do not have a perfect or a strong grid. And without forgetting her skill 1, which is a field effect that provides 20% attack to everyone including the boss, and 30% bonus echo damage. Keep in mind that the attack buff is unique, so it stacks with everything that you have. I would only use this whenever my Ogi is down or so, since this field effect only lasts for 3 turns anyway. Just make the most out of this with all your autos. You could also say that this may be good with Shiva Call, but it takes so damn long to set up, it doesn't really matter much anyway. When it comes to character synergy, there seems to be a lot of options, but I did notice a lot tend to favor Fairy due to her skill set and having the extra revive. Though for my case, I really love how good she gets along with Kolulu. It's not because I do not have Fairy, but yeah, you get the point. Kolulu is just a really insane character to put together with Nia. Not only she can do an extra nuke after each Ogi, she can reset all of her skill cooldowns to do an extra nuke and Ogi again, which really fits Nia's criteria as a burst heavy character. I would honestly favor Nia providing the buffs to Kolulu over the likes like 6 for example, even though he has like way higher cap and all. It's just that Kolulu's Ogi with the extra nuke, just I felt like it does way more compared to 6 in several cases. With all that said, Nia is just a really great character. All she wants you is just providing all the love she can get. You know, protect that smile. Just don't let her cry. You know, just like what you're about to see on the screen very shortly. And we are in the game right now. So I'm gonna share you guys with the grid that I'm using. There's not really like a lot of grids that I'm using, but mostly focus on having mostly Hades, as you can see on the screen. So this setup in particular is the one where I just literally use for like mainly OTK stuff, like for probably EX plus, or the likes of just bursting down as much as you can for the blue box and such. So for this grid in particular, I'm using Siete because, well, Siete allows me to cap even higher, and well, the only thing I just really need is just having Kolulu's the extra nuke, as you already knew from what I mentioned in the video earlier. Okay, so in this particular grid, all I'm using is mostly filling with 2 avatar sticks and just getting as much raw damage as I can, and then just filling it with an extra cap, which is the Kirin bow, getting the seraphic weapon, and the Anubis axe as well, because not to mention that we already gotten this to follow me break, right? So the cap is slightly bigger, supposedly. So the other thing is that you probably want to change from what I'm showing right now is that this specific opus, where if you want to use this setup in particular, where you could even use like a Hades or Longdong with Longdong setup or whatever, is technically a lot better if you put this as like a chain burst setup instead, because this right now I'm using the Ogi cap. I'm supposed to change it, but I haven't changed it yet because I do not have enough materials from the normal Fasan. But yeah, you want to do that just because you will have extra meter, or the extra meter provided to like the likes of Siete, so your entire team can Ogi and stuff with just the likes of, say, the Aurum flow and stuff. But honestly, if you're doing that, it doesn't really matter if you have Nia or not. But yeah, just Nia is just there just to help you burst a little bit more than usual, because if you really want to max out the amount of deeps you can get in like the first 1 or 2 turns, is usually you just give a reactivation to Kolulu. MC is using this class, and then you go with the dual arts, and then bam, that's it. Because this 2 alone would probably give you like 25 to 26 mil or some shit like that. On the other hand, there are other grids that I did try to use with her, which is honestly not too bad as well, which is one of it is definitely the Highlander grid, which I tried it in like bunker raids and such. It's pretty damn good. You can cap relatively high, and the other thing that you may probably want to change if you have it is this Anubis X. I mean, you can use this. Is for me is kind of like a placeholder at the moment, but if you have like Fairy's Hub, that thing runs way better. And yeah, the other thing is that I did max out my Blood Gang as well to allow me to run a Highlander grid with this, and it's relatively great. You can just see like probably 6 doing 6 million damage. This Kolulu is doing 6 million damage as well. Then MC is also doing like 5 million plus damage or so. It's just really crazy. And of course, if you have this too as well, it's just the amount of the cap that allows you to hit that high is just a lot crazier. So another thing that you may probably want to try is that, like that specific Ogi setup I had earlier, is that instead of using this croissant class or whatever, you would want to switch it with into Illusion, especially if you have the Fairy Harp. Because if you have that Fairy Harp, what you can do is that use that as a main hand, and then you just give the Ogi reactivation to her, and then you just do a fuck ton of damage. And that's technically like during assault time probably is just 1 button or something, which is honestly not that much different in a lot of cases, because even with my current setup, one button is usually enough for OTK anyway. But that's just for like, as you just want to burst down as fast as you can in very minimal buttons to press and such. Because usually, like, if you really want to go like more than one turn, for example, you could also use like the likes of Huanlong to extend another turn to Ogi, and then if you're using Siete, you have another Ogi from him as well. So it's like you don't really have to mash too much, but they're just there to provide like an extra like nuke, just so you can hit that threshold if you want to reach the blue chest and such. And the other thing is that that is also really good, because as you burn through like an extra turn or so, Nia's Ogi damage and cap goes a lot higher, because her damage on her Ogi and cap is relying on her Love Redemption passive, whereas that if it goes lower, it gets her damage and cap goes a lot higher. So if you really want to like just min-max that as well, you could also burn her stacks by using her S2 as well on another character or whatever, just so you can burn, just so she can just cap a lot higher. So another thing is that I have also tried is also using this normal setup, you know, like try to keep her alive as long as possible and such, but doesn't seem to be any much different from like the other two grids I showed earlier. So if you ask me, she's better off just bursting it down or whatever and be done with it, you know. The other thing is that you may be wondering, like, what about Magna grids or whatever? Honestly, if you ask me, it's very similar to the one that I showed in the first one, which is this. Instead of using like swords or whatever, you could just use like any form of Magna weapon that provides as much raw damage as you get, and you can just put out more avatar sticks instead. And then if you have an extra fairy harp, you could also put that instead of this stupid axe. So you can just put out, like, definitely you want more than 2. I only farm 2, so I can't really show you like how much or how does my Magna 2 work. But either way, if you're using Magna, you can just use the same grid, but instead of these swords, you can just fill in with more avatar sticks. And then like the remaining slot, you could just put in like the extra fairy harp or Anubis X. That works as well. So the rest is just really just putting in a lot of the sticks. And if you really want to go a little bit step further, you could I don't know, you could just use like the Cosmos weapon as well. But honestly, that is just way too overkill, because having like 3 to 4 avatar sticks is already more than enough if you have the likes of fairy harp and stuff. Because that thing alone will just immediately get you like super capped out and stuff like that. Especially if you're using this cross-on with the Kirin Sword in your main hand. Because what Kirin Sword does is that the Kirin Sword will give you a defend down buff that probably never whiffs at all for some reason. Because from my experience using it for God knows how long already, probably more than a year, that this thing just never misses at all on the first turn. Maybe if off element there's a chance of that missing, but if you're doing it on element, that thing will land 100% of the time, so you really don't have to worry about that. So that debuff alone will probably give you a little bit more consistency when it comes to like putting out the as much damage as you can and stuff like that, without needing to buff your team and whatnot. So with all that said, that's really all I can share with what I have with Nia. I'm pretty damn sure you can do a lot more with her, but that's my thoughts and experience with her. She's just a really strong, heavy, bursty character and such, and that's probably like the only thing I'll use her for. But when it comes to like, you know, heavy long raids and stuff like that, probably I won't use her, or unless I just really want to burst down with her, and then just having another character to like take over, you know, having another character in the back after she goes down or whatever, when I'm out of revives and stuff like that. Yeah, that works too. But yeah, that's really my my thoughts and experience on Nia. She's a really good character, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hope to see you guys on stream or on the next video. Bye.